Medicaid patients, of course, need help getting to and from non-emergency medical appointments. There are essentially these rideshare companies in Colorado providing that service. They rely on Medicaid reimbursement to get repaid. It's a difficult math problem when the state has a budget crisis and recently discovered it was overpaying for that service compared to other states. Our Marshall Zellinger has an update.
Getting a ride to a medical appointment should not take so much math.
I'm not asking for more.
Republican State Representative Rick Taggart may want more, particularly for his area of the Western Slope.
Research carefully the cost structure of rural versus urban.
The state recently cut the reimbursement rates for companies that provide non-emergency rides for Medicaid patients. Colorado had been paying 3 times higher than comparable states. The reimbursement is now $12 a ride, down from $36. Providers also get reimbursed for mileage, nearly $3 a mile, just not the miles to go pick up the patient.
A deadhead mile in rural could be going 50 miles. I gave an example of today of 150 miles.
We were not paid 1,038,000 miles driving to pick people up and get them where they needed to go.
Kelly Milan owns Sunshine Rides, one of the companies that provides rides to patients in rural Colorado.
That's over 1 million miles of unpaid costs. So we're not asking for a handout. We just need to cover our costs.
To determine if the rates the state just lowered were lowered too much, the lawmakers in control of the state budget asked for an analysis.
They said, actually, we are really in line with what other states are paying and maybe even a little higher.
The review determined that reducing the overall pickup rate actually harmed metro area providers more than rural providers, but that the new rates were still in line with what other states pay for the service. The state's healthcare policy and financing department suggested the state could increase the pickup fee, but told lawmakers it was not necessary.
They did what we asked, which was to examine the rate and say, if you want to do something, here's what you could do, but we wouldn't recommend it.
There's a wild card in determining if these companies should get more money again. Earlier this year, the state discovered it was overpaying for a portion of this service, paying $668 in reimbursement per ride instead of $65. That's 10 times as much. And the state also discovered it was paying companies for phantom rides that never really existed except on paper. So Kyle, any conversation about the legitimate rides will definitely be scrutinized now.
Yeah, I mean, right, state legislators have to make difficult cuts, and I'm sure people are going to say, why pour money in a leaky bucket?
And to find out that other states were never as high as you were and they're getting by just fine, everything seems to be stacked up against these non-emergency medical transport companies.
All right, Marshall Zellinger, thank you.